to go ahead and try to get the lights working here. Able to flash. All right, lights are on. And we are live. And so are my robots. I'm actually running 2 robots. That's the cool thing about robots is you can have more than one. Anyhow, I'm going to try a new dish today. I don't have no clue what I'm doing other than trying a new dish. I've been like craving eggplant. So decided to buy some eggplant the other day. And was reading up on how to cook it. And they recommend actually soaking it in salt and water and then rinsing it off and then cooking it. You know, to remove the bitterness, supposedly. Supposedly eggplant is kind of bitter. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to skip that step. Because I think, you know, one, I don't want to add any salt, potentially, to the meal, even though you're supposedly rinsing it off. But 2, I want to taste it with the bitterness. I want the food kind of like it is, as long as it's not poisonous or something. We're going to go ahead and try to cook it just as is. Now, for some stupid reason, they had... Walmart puts these tags, these stickers on the fruits and vegetables and stuff. That thing wouldn't peel off, and when it peeled off, it left glue. So I had to cut off a little piece. I've washed the eggplant. And good morning, Nessa. How are you? It's nighttime where you are. You know what's kind of weird or interesting is, I don't know if you guys saw my Chinese buffet yesterday that I ate. I think it was yesterday, with my daughter when I went to get mail and stuff like that. I made I got like basically 1.5 plates of food, which was kind of big, considering my diet. And it was actually about 1/3 of what I normally eat when I'm not on the diet. But what happened was I was so full, I haven't eaten since yesterday. That's crazy, but well, it was kind of weird because I was I ate the food and I was really stuffed, but then shortly after eating, like about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, probably an hour later, I started feeling really hungry, even though my stomach was full. And I had just gone by Walmart to buy some walnuts. No, not walnuts. Was it walnuts? Yeah, I think it was walnut. Yeah, walnut and almonds. So I started snacking on the almonds and the walnuts while I was driving, trying to find a parking spot at the beach, which was not available. And then when I got home at the RV, I wasn't hungry. And then at about 6, 7 o'clock, I was like, I better have something to eat. But I wasn't hungry. So I was going to make some fresh salad because I figured it would be light. But I'm like, well, if I'm not hungry, I shouldn't force myself to eat. So I didn't eat. And then made it through the night without being hungry. I'm like, why the heck am I not hungry? Then I woke up this morning thinking I'd be starving, but I'm not starving. Although, like, right now I'm feeling a little bit lightheaded, a little weak, probably because I haven't eaten in we're going on what, about 20 hours. Yeah, almost 20 hours I didn't eat. So I don't know if that I don't know if that's good or bad, but basically I figure I better have breakfast right now because I am feeling a little bit weak. But it was interesting that I wasn't hungry. So I'm going, I'm not going to force myself to eat if I'm not hungry. But we're going to go ahead and try eggplant with rice. So I'm going to use 2 eggs, coat the eggplant. This is what the plan is. I'm going to use the 2 eggs, coat the eggplant, and fry it up in a little bit of olive oil. And then we're going to serve it with rice. And then for our greens, we're going to have a whole bunch of Brussels sprouts. So a really simple breakfast that I think will hopefully be something that I enjoy. We're going to find out. So I think it couldn't hurt to basically have eggs, but on top of eggplant. So without further ado, what we're going to do is bust our eggs. Actually, I'll go ahead and set it over here so you can see what's going on. But I'm going to go ahead and bust the eggs and mix it up, as if I was making like scrambled eggs or something. Because that's going to be what we're going to coat the eggplant with. All right. So, eggplant. And I think because I'm going to be adding the minced onions and the badia as coating on the eggplant, with egg on it, we're not going to mix anything in the egg. So, egg is mixed. Turn on the heat, because I don't think this is going to take too long. I don't know how long you're really supposed to cook it for, but I'm not planning on cooking it very long. And we're going to go ahead and pour in some of this olive oil. Just a little bit. I was hearing that like eggplant is known for like soaking up oil, which is kind of bad, but it is olive oil, so hopefully not too bad. And with the egg on top of the eggplant, I'm hoping that you know, it's just going to fry up like you would when you fry the egg. I don't know why they call it eggplant, because maybe you're supposed to serve it with eggs. I don't know. You know? So what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to go lengthwise because I want it kind of big, almost like a piece of meat or something. So we're going to do this. I don't know if I'm going to have the skin on it. Maybe I won't have this. I'm going to cut off this piece right here of the skin, and we're just going to start with the second piece here. And the plan is just to cut it up like this into chunks, almost like meat. I guess I'm treating the eggplant as if it was my my protein, my meat, because we're putting eggs on it. So just cutting it up into little slices of probably a centimeter or so, 1/4 of an inch thick. All right. Now we got a slightly big one here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the little piece off and make it a little bit more skinny. All right, so we got all our eggplant cut up. We're gonna cook it all at once because I think eggplant kind of goes blackish looking if you don't cook it right away. So we'll go ahead and just coat it. I've got that on. This is just coating it. I have no clue how this is gonna turn out because I've never done this before. But we're gonna let the eggplant just sort of get coated with the egg and fry it up. Now, if this works, this will be something I'll do quite a bit, because I heard eggplant is actually good for you, for your heart and diabetes. So I might even have to add another egg. So we got 2 big pieces frying up, and while it's frying, oops, you guys didn't see that, sorry about that. But I got it on the skillet, I guess is what you call that. And we're gonna go ahead and just put our magical body of seasoning right on it. This is why I didn't add any seasoning to the eggs itself. And I don't know if you heard that good click right there. The AC just shut off in the RV. I think I had a circuit breaker went off. It got hot. So we'll need to deal with that, but I'll deal with it later. But the fact that the AC went off meant this thing went off too. So we'll deal with that here in a minute. I would pause the video, but we're live. And obviously, I don't think I can cook much if this is, the heat's off. I know why it went off. Now I know why. This thing pulls about 1,800 watts or so, almost 2,000 watts. And I had the AC running. So that's why it went off. The circuit breaker blew because I was overdrawing power. So just something to keep in mind if you're in an RV. I should have remembered that. I forgot that I had the AC running and I'm trying to cook. So we'll just go ahead and turn off the AC and turn the heat on, because the heat for the food's important. So I'll be right back. I got to go flip the switch. All right, I'm back. So you can see the little lights back on. So it is back on. Of course, my poor robots. My robots went offline because the circuit, that was a 120 volt circuit. So this is our eggplant right here that we're cooking up. And the plan is just to heat it up. have it ready to go. Now, obviously, I have a lot, so I'm probably going to make enough for 2 meals, maybe 3 meals. So the plan will be to cook up the eggplant, bag up the, the extras, and put it in the refrigerator and heat it up and have it later. We'll see how it tastes. I have no clue because I've never done this before. Normally, when I use the eggplant, it's like the Chinese eggplant. And Chinese eggplant is like, almost looks like a cucumber. It's smaller. We're going to put the lid on it just so it kind of bake and get really hot. Because I want the eggplant to get kind of soft a little bit. Because eggplant tends to be like really stiff foam almost. It has like almost like a foam like texture or feeling to it. So that is going to go ahead and fry up. And I will go ahead and soak up some more here. Some more of this to have it ready. I don't know how long we're supposed to cook it. I was reading and it says basically you can even eat eggplant. I think you can eat it raw. It's the eggs that we want to make sure is cooked. So I'm going to make an assumption that once the egg is cooked, that the food is done. At least the eggplant is done. So it shouldn't take too long with a really thin coating of eggs. Doesn't that look kind of good though? So yeah, look at that, and it's smelling. Oh my gosh, it smells good. It smells really, really good. So my appetite is kicking in because I can smell that food, and it actually is smelling very, very good. So I'm gonna put the lid back on it just to kind of let it bake, semi-bake a little bit. And if this is something good, if it tastes good, I'll do a quick taste test before I sign out on this video. But if it tastes good, this is going to be something I'm going to do regularly because eggplant is supposedly good for you. And the way it looks right now, it almost looks like a big chunk of meat. So I used 2 eggs, but I can see that to make the whole eggplant here this size, I probably need about 3 eggs, maybe 4. And the reason for using the eggs is that's my protein. So I won't add any meat, for the breakfast. And once I get this cooked and eat it, I'm going to see how long it takes before I get hungry again, So it looks like it's done. That was really fast. So let's flip it over real quick. Yeah, and I can see, look how nice that looks. It's like delicious looking. Doesn't that look appetizing? So I'm gonna set that aside, and I'm gonna fry. Here's the other piece here, and we're gonna add some more, and just basically cook them all up. Just throw this right on there. Take another piece, coat it right here, and we're gonna go ahead and throw that right on there. And you'll see that I just basically toss the seasoning on it as I'm, actually 2 eggs is enough for the thing, maybe. 2 eggs might be enough. There we go. And we'll even take the little piece here. Tiny little piece. And there's one more I need to fry up, but yeah, just coating it with the eggs. I don't know if this is how you normally cook eggplant. I just don't understand why they call it eggplant if you don't only cook it with eggs. Maybe that's why they do it. But yeah, look at the bardia. The bardia makes it look like actual cooking. Most of my cooking is usually just heating things up, Look at that. So basically, egg-covered eggplant. Yeah. Looking good. And we'll pour some body on this side. Maybe a little bit of heavy on the salt, this meal with the bardia. It's one of the reasons I didn't want to soak it. Because bardia has quite a bit of salt and stuff in it already. And I knew I was going to be coating both sides with bardia. So we'll let that kind of bake a little bit again. Meanwhile, we're going to put together a serving here. I'm going to go ahead and shut the heat off so that doesn't burn, because we're going to go ahead and do a quick taste test, even though the rest of it is still cooking. Now, I have the Brussels sprouts, which I need to heat up. So we're going to nuke that real quick. Take the Brussels sprouts and just microwave it. I find that microwaving it for about like five minutes or so, 5 or 6 minutes, is enough. So this is going to be our serving of our greens today. Just a bunch of Brussels sprouts, and well, not today, but for breakfast. And I'm just going to simply cover it with a paper towel, and then we're going to go ahead and put it in the microwave here. I know you're not seeing it, but all right. So we got it in our paper towel in the microwave, and I think we're going to go for let's try 5 minutes, because it's just the Brussels sprouts. There's nothing else in it. And meanwhile, we'll go ahead and put together the dish here and see what it looks like, and try a taste test. But yeah, I already am. I told you I wasn't hungry when I started, because I woke up and I wasn't feeling hungry. But now, looking at this food and smelling it, it smells really good. I guess because what we're really smelling is eggs, you know, and eggs in the morning when you're hungry and you don't know it actually smells good. So we'll get this stuff, and then we'll get the rice, set it up, do a quick taste test here, and let you know how it turned out. Okay, get the rice here. The rice I made in the rice cooker earlier this morning. I've been trying to make less rice, but the problem when you make less rice, when you don't have enough rice in the rice cooker, it burns the bottom. See how it normally I get like perfect rice, but right now it's kind of a little slightly brownish on the bottom because it kind of got burnt. It's because I'm using like I'm using less rice than normal. You know, normally I cook a bit more rice. I cook almost a full thing. So this is about a cup. I'm going to add a little bit more. So I've got probably a cup and a half of rice right there. And, you know, that's going to be my carbs. Oh! My handy-dandy little assistant here doesn't want to stay. But we're going to go ahead and set that aside. And do a little taste test. Yeah. I'm kind of eager to find out what it tastes like, because I've never had this before. First time with this dish. And of course, we still have our Brussels sprouts, but we're going to wait on that. So it's kind of soft. It's softer than it was. I left the skin on it because I think the skin is also good. And here we go. This is what it looks like. It's not so out of focus here. All right, here we go. You know what? I like it. The eggs. The eggs don't taste like eggs when you put it on the Brussels sprouts. And these aren't bitter. I don't really taste the bitterness. I mean, not the Brussels sprout, the eggplant. The eggplant actually feels kind of soft, and it's not spongy like it is when it's not cooked. You know, it actually has kind of a, I don't know how to describe it. It has almost like a texture like bok choy, you know, the stalks. And the flavor is slightly sweet. This is good. Not only is it good, if you don't have the skin on it, if you cut off the skin and just ate the meat part with the egg on it and cooked like this, it tastes kind of like meat. So if you're on a diet or you're trying to avoid meat, other than eggs, of course, This might be a good substitute. Oh my God. This is so good. Definitely something I'm going to do again. I might even do this every week. This is really good. I'm hoping that the eggplant will actually, you know, help to make me full. I know the rice will. Since I've upped the rice intake, you know, I haven't been as hungry all the time. And this will be a test to see how long the eggplant actually lasts, you know, with the rice. And of course, I'll be throwing in the Brussels sprouts. So I want to thank you all for joining me. If you have an eggplant handy, some eggs, badia, chopped onions, and, you know, this might be something worth trying because it really is good. I mean, this is really good. If I had to give it a ranking on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd give it like an 8.5 or 9. The only thing that makes it not as good is, I think if it had meat, but it's close to meat. I give it a pretty good feel on what it feels and tastes kind of like. So it's the eggs. I think it's the eggs. The eggs are giving it the meaty taste. I don't know, but the eggplant just gives it a texture that's a cross between meat and like bok choy, you know, the stalks of bok choy. So it's kind of chewy. It gives it, you know, normally when you eat like vegetables and stuff, you bite through it and it kind of slices through. It's kind of like eating leaves, but eggplant doesn't feel like eating leaves. It actually feels kind of like meat. So, look at our Brussels sprouts, steaming hot. So we're just going to add this to our dish here. I lost one. All right. So this will be my greens, and Brussels sprouts. You know, it's becoming one of my favorite vegetables, but it also has like a meaty type texture with a little bit of butter almost. And I haven't added anything to it. I just took it out of the box. I mean, out of the bag and heat it up, but it'll taste kind of like buttery, I think. Yeah. A little hot. But yeah. It was hitting the spot. So I'll give you guys an update on how long I stay full with this. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining me, everybody. I hope you're all having a great day, and I hope you're eating well. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.